Hey guys, just gonna make a video on how to do snowmobile sliders. This is on a 1980 Enticer, but it has a different rear suspension and track on it. So the idea will be the same for a stock Enticer, but little things might be different. So what you want to do first is loosen this axle bolt. You can hold this side with a 17 mil wrench. Obviously sizes may vary, but then around this side there's a nut. I've already taken the cotter pin out from right there. So anyways, once you get those out, or loosen that bolt off, there are track adjusters. I'm just going to grab a light. You can't really see it, but there's a chrome socket sticking through the back of the track, right in through there. You can see the threads just here. That's your track adjustment. So first we're going to loosen this axle bolt that the three wheels are on with, and then we'll loosen the track adjusters, and that'll take the tension off the track, and that'll allow us to take the rear suspension right out. So anyways, I'm going to set this up here and hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So now you can see the track's nice and loose. So you're going to undo 4 bolts that hold the suspension in. There's one right here, one on the other side, and 2 at the front that go through the tunnel. I always do the front first and then the back. Nice if you have 2 people to hold the suspension, but I don't have that luxury, so you just kind of have to fight with it a little bit. Okay, so got the suspension out. Some people put a ratchet strap around this top bar to compress the shock, and sometimes at the back here you can do it too. I used to do that, but this one you don't have to. Again, it's a different suspension in it, so it does make it a little bit easier. So pull your suspension right out and flip it over. Actually, first I'll show you why I'm replacing these. I built this sled I put it together about 8 years ago. And these are the sliders that were on it when I put it together, so they've done pretty well. I was just measuring these earlier to see how bad they were. And I don't know if you can see that very well, but there's actually about 3/16 of an inch worn off these, so it's got to be getting really close to the rails. You can see it does get quite a bit thicker up near the front. So when you've got your suspension out, it's a good idea to look it all over. Check your wheels. I redid all the bearings in it last year except the top ones. They're tight, which is good. So yeah, look at the bearings, look at the wheels. I've been kind of keeping my eye on some of these wheels. I don't use this machine a whole lot. The rubber is getting kind of crappy on some of them, but they've been like that a long time. I've just kind of been watching them. Eventually you'll get a piece comes off, and not the end of the world unless it's on the edge or something and it starts to affect your track. So yeah, be careful with that. Before you loosen your track off, you can count the number of threads on your adjusters that are sticking through. So normally the adjuster would be sticking out the back here, and I counted mine. There are 14 threads showing. So if I was just pulling this suspension out or the skid out to put bearings on it, I just count that as 14 if I was happy with the track tension. Put it back together, make sure both sides are 14 turns, tighten up this axle bolt, and you're good to go. But being as I'm putting new sliders on it, I'll probably have to adjust the tension a wee bit because the sliders are worn down. So anyways, yeah, other things you can look at are these slider blocks. There's a bunch of them. I replaced a bunch of these last year. Anything that's nylon that wears, the only thing that really doesn't wear are the rails, unless your sliders have worn right through. Every pivot point will wear. This skid is pretty worn out. It was worn out when I got it, but for what I use it for, I mean, it's lasted 8 years so far, so I'm going to have a good look at it when it's out. But so to get your sliders off, flip it upside down, and there's usually a Phillips screw in the front end of the rail. You can see them there. Pull those out and tap them off with a hammer and a block of wood. Then slide your new ones on, put the screw in, cut them to length, and when you cut them, cut them on an angle at the back. I don't know if you can see this very well. Some people cut them square, and if it's just the right suspension design, the track will tick at every window. You can hear it. It's really noticeable. If you just get in the habit of cutting all of them at a 45-degree angle or something close to that, it doesn't have to be precise. Just cut them on a bit of an angle. That'll keep that ticking away and keep you from going crazy listening to it. And when your suspension's out, look at your track too. Just look for any big deep cracks. This track was new when I put it on. It's held up really well. I think it's a camoplast. Yeah, it is. So look at your along the edge. Make sure there's no big tears. Look at your clips. See that there are no clips that are going to dig into your new sliders and cut them all up. I've seen that before where you put new sliders on and then first ride you destroy them. Just give your track a really good look over and check your drive cogs. I'm running out of battery here, but just look at your drive cogs, see that there isn't anything suspicious there, and there's a seal out of your chain case. Make sure that it isn't leaking oil, because if it is, you might as well do it now and save yourself a lot of work down the road. So alrighty guys, hope this helps you. Yeah, if it did, like the video and subscribe or comment. Thanks.